Oh.
Hello, hello.
He's being silly. You're being silly, Patrick.
Hello, lovely group of people, and hello to all of our friends who will maybe see us live or maybe recorded on LinkedIn or on YouTube. I just want to welcome all of you. Big question is, why are we gathered here today? I have this phenomenal group of friends, and at the start of my entrepreneurial journey, it didn't look like that. There was a point where in one day I lost my job. I had to resign from the work that the career I was building for 5 years and was very successful at it. And I lost my friends because they were all connected with that job. And life seemed pretty uncertain at that moment. But within a couple of days from that day, a new dawn was born. And in that new dawn, I asked myself, what if this is the opportunity I was waiting for? What if all of those years I was working in this corporate place and inside a law firm and waiting for my opportunity to exit and connect the dots in my life? So when that happened, I decided to embrace my journey as an entrepreneur. And it has been a beautiful ride, but it has seen me invest close to £20,000 into various business trainings. And they have taken me further from where I wanted to go, really. And they depleted my funds. And I was back to my own creative resources. I began to connect with people. I began to network. And because I was so determined to succeed, I was making just enough to stay in the game. You know how you become really resourceful when you burn the bridges, when you decide there is no going back for me. And in those moments of decisions, my character was strengthening, I feel, but also I was seeing what I'm made of. I saw my resilience, I saw my resolve, I saw that this decision that I made is something that I want to sustain for the rest of my life. But I couldn't gain traction. None of the business trainings that I have taken, most of them have been courses. And I want you to know that I didn't invest like small amount. I invested between $2,000 and $5,000 in these courses. And needless to say that they didn't provide me with one-on-one perspective. That aspect was missing. So it wasn't really personal journey for me. I was put in a category that I had to find myself in. And you already have a hint that I'm a creative person. And at that time, my business I was working with art, with fine art and antiques. So my business was not easy to fit in the conventional model. And then, I'm just going to admit more people as they join us. So excuse me for this. And as I was trying to figure out, you can imagine a lot of shiny objects came my way. Those business trainers that I trusted started recommending to me software that cost $100 per month to join. Yes, happened to you, David, as well? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I can see a lot of you nodding, so I know that this is the road that they take us on. So while I was happy investing and I was happy learning these new things, I wasn't really truthfully shown the path that a beginner should be on. No one in those business coaching programs had considered beginners seriously, right? Because I think beginners fall in a category where we need to show extra love and support. Because when we join hands, this can happen very fast, I learned it can happen very fast, but we need to have, excuse me, someone who is really ethical in front of us, someone who isn't afraid to challenge us and to tell us the truth. You see, for that training, I didn't mind paying big money, but I wasn't asked to pay big money. When it came to that, after 4 years of spinning the wheels most of the time, trying to figure it out, creating a high-ticket program, which was producing results sporadically. So it wasn't consistent, and I couldn't be reliably predicting the income in my business. So summer of last year is a very interesting period of my life. As most of you know, that I was one of the presenters at Coach Fest. And over there, I was already connected with David Poole, who I have here on the call with me. Hi, David. And it was a wonderful opportunity. Just one of the messages that David sent completely in his character. I know that now, but back then I didn't know him personally. And he just presented an opportunity that was so easy to say yes to. It was a very low ticket entry, but what came with that was an opportunity to actually co-author a book together with David. And in a very there it is. we did several books, and David wrote this very successfully. How many? 9? I participated. Yeah, I participated in 3. Yeah. And this path started to become a little bit clearer. In October last year, September, something like that, David said, I'm going to do a free teaching hour, and who wants to join me? I will have my coach or someone who co-creates with me in this aspect, Rob Yates. And Rob is with us on the call. Hi, Rob. And 2 of them had this amazing presentation where I didn't stop writing notes. I was presented with something, this idea that my business can actually take off very easily in a way that I hadn't considered before, because no one shared that with me. That my business can start making predictable income. And these were not just words they were saying, by the way. They backed it up with a lot of example, and it made sense. It connected inside me. So to make it even more appealing, I mean, they had a special offer for joining. So it was really next to nothing compared with the money I invested that produced zero return. Zero return and very little in confidence building, right? So we have had one-on-one calls. Within first week, I have launched an offer that got 6 paying clients within that first week. I had 6 yeses to my offer, right? And we have worked together ever since. We have worked on other projects. My business has moved on since then. And I am just so grateful that life has taken me on this journey. Because if there is anyone there who is either a beginner coach who wants to create an impact that is positive in other people's lives and has something that is a calling, that's a mission to them, you need to pay attention to this. If you haven't been connecting the dots, this is the opportunity where you can really find out the missing piece, right? So that to me is absolutely crucially important. The second thing is that of all of this is that we have created this personal bond. We have seen each other. seen by people I worked with, by my business coaches. They seen me as a human being. They seen me in all of my individuality, and they worked with that. And it's just phenomenal. If an idea didn't resonate with me, I felt comfortable of telling them, that's not where I want to take my business. This is the idea that I have. And they work with me to help me develop that idea, right? And I have changed several ideas since then. And each one of them was successful, right? They were not big changes, but they helped me to tweak and tune into exactly what my mission is, what my strength is, where I feel as excited as the people that I am serving. So they have helped me create a steady income, and they have inspired me to go much further. And I just want to say that
I was thinking about what to know from you, kind of what is it?
Sorry. I've got a birthday call tomorrow morning, but it's now nearly 7:30, and I thought, I wonder if I've got the wrong time. So sorry.
That's okay. You can mute yourself, like if that happens.
Yeah, no, I've turned it off.
That was funny.
That was really funny. Yeah, didn't know where it's coming from.
Well, I didn't know. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I thought, oh, have I got the wrong time? Did she say 7:30 p.m.? So forgive me.
That's really beautiful. Nothing to forgive. Don't worry, dear Marina. Life happens, really. So here we are. We have together, we co-created something that's so beautiful. And when I mentioned that I want to give back to my community, to people that are in my email list. Hello, Reza. Very lovely to see you. Thank you for joining us. When I decided that I want to give back, guess what? Guess who raised their hands and said, we want to give back together with you, right? They're so modest, and they won't say it for themselves. But these two people offer tremendous value in every single post. So if you're not connected with them on social media, you should, because they will offer so many signposts that you can follow, that you can really connect. And then if you get lost still, they're always there to help you. So we thought we're going to create this fun evening, for which we don't have particular plan, because we want to be able to answer your questions, right? They're going to share something that they always do, which is completely in their own spirit. And we're going to give them the opportunity to share with us what they do best. And may I suggest that you do as I did. I came prepared to this, and I'm sorry I didn't say this in my email, but if you're catching us on replay, you can easily pause. If you have a pen and paper, make sure that you have that handy, because there will be one or two ideas coming to you from what they will share with you. And then if you have any questions for any one of three of us, please put them either here in the comments or in the comments of this, and we will get to you even if you're catching us on replay. Right? So David and Rob, I am so thrilled and grateful to you that you have offered this opportunity. I didn't even have to ask you. You know how much I value your friendship and your guidance. So let's create some magic, shall we? Let's hear what you are going to share with the group today.
Yeah, we're going to put Patrick on. Go on, Patrick, take over. He wanted to. He's the guy with the magic touch at the moment. Katerina, I just want to say thank you so much for describing your journey, and it allowed, I know Rob's been making notes as well, and I can see him beavering away. It's allowed me to make notes so that I can always, or we can always adapt our message. Mm-hmm. And it has been wonderful working with you. And you're not even our ideal client.
I love that.
You're you're 8 steps there, you know, you're not doing too bad. But what you do in your business is great, and your approach to business is great, because your approach isn't numbers, it's people.
Yes.
You know, but you have an eye on the numbers in terms of, and when I say eye on the numbers, you're not there people pleasing. You set your own boundaries, and which includes time, and you put yourself in a position where you can go out there. And I don't want to use the term serve people. I'm not quite. It doesn't really fit with me too well. I feel like a subservient master sort of relationship. But you go out there and you help people, and what Rob and I get a huge kick out of is your stories. You know, because our impact really, I mean, okay, we impact the people who we work with and their families, right? But your daughter came in from work just before we started this, and I've never met your daughter. I don't know her name, but I knew that Rob and I have impacted her in some sort of way. And I know that when she goes to work with a smile on her face because her mum's really happy, we're actually impacting the people who your daughter meets as well. So that's kind of like warm and fuzzy for me. So what we'll do tonight is Rob's going to battle me for the microphone because I have a thing of talking. But there's a few points I'd like to get through first before we get into stuff. Then I'd like to pass the mic over to Rob, and then what we'll do is we will share with you all tonight exactly what to do in terms of the model that Katerina has made with us. There isn't any smoke and mirrors, there isn't any hidden secrets or anything like that. Now, we can't personalize it, so we're gonna have to come from a helicopter type view, but we'll try and go in as deep as we can. And if you've got a question, please ask. So this is a teaching scenario. This is not where, hey, run to the back of the room, get your credit card out and give me your money. Because I can see Angelica's laughing. I get that energy, but it's not the energy that she's been there. Yeah, so have we, Rob.
Yeah, so have we, yeah.
And it's not the energy that we want to attract. And we don't mean that detrimentally to anybody who uses that in their business. It just isn't for us, because we work with people and they bring their lives and their experience into that. And I don't want to do that any discredit by turning the volume up on their negative blockers to run out into a field of scarcity and buy from us, because that's not going to help them, and it's not going to help us either. So tonight, please don't expect a sales pitch. I've got some notes that I've made, by the way. Thank you for this. This is from what you've been saying, and it's helping. Katerina tonight has helped me hone our quote unquote sales pitch. I've written two things. Well, two separate. I've done the outside world and why this is working for Katerina. So in the outside world, we get this group of business coaches, and I'm not here to throw stones at them, because there's some great people out there, and there's some great people out there just not quite yet found their way. But here's some of the reasons why I don't feel that the vast majority of business coaches are able to add the value that you hope to get. So first of all, I believe, and it's my belief, that we as a collective community are almost subconsciously trained, and there's a level of being coerced into investing. And now, I'm not saying don't invest, but there's this push of, if you don't invest and if you don't go high ticket, and there's almost like a guilt train that comes with it. And when we work in social media and we're looking for our ideal client, we're going to get hit upon by different people offering business services. And there's this theme there it's not so pretty.
No.
They're trying, and there's some really, really good people there, and these really good people are actually dealing with something. Their service is not so pretty, because they're saying, come and buy and I'll help you, and I'll help you make you feel better. So there's a whole world of that going off. And because there's a whole world of it, we kind of get sucked into it. And I was speaking to one of our clients today. I'll name drop her. She's lovely. She'll tell you about her. Her name's Marlene. And she said to me, David, I've been a therapist for many, many years, but only 5 years ago did I start to really look online. And I'm trying to undo 5 years of this talk to tell me how to do my business. And she said it's difficult to unpick that. The next thing is when I see these offers out there, I think sometimes the offers are fantastic. I really do think some of the offers are fantastic, but do they work for coaches? I mean, do they work for people selling software or something that's tangible? Yeah. And probably, especially when you don't have to put any time into discovery calls and things like that, because you can really measure everything down on a return on an ad spend, how many people click on your website and what have you not. And what they do is they try and encourage as coaches to stick people onto an evergreen webinar and things like that. But even then, it lacks that personal touch. So for me, having lots of people go to a website and lots of people go to a funnel and coming through, it's really a numbers game. And for coaches, healers and trainers, I don't think we're built for that.
No.
I think we're built for listening and understanding and having empathy. And that's really difficult to be able to create in these coaching scenarios. Even if, look, you've got to go and send 30 DMs a day to new people. That feels ugly to me. It's this energy that doesn't sit with me. I also feel as well that and I am making a generalization, that these courses and methodologies, they have very little appreciation for cultural difference. So what might happen, and I'm not just talking about white and black or east of the world and west of the world and male and female, but I'm also talking about the cultural difference within the workplace. And Rob and I have often chatted about, wow, that's a really good program for somebody who spent 10 years in sales, 10 years who've been working in the car dealership. They'll get that. They'll know what buttons to press. But you put that in front of let's say, a person who's going into the business for the first time, it's not going to work. So that's what I also mean by the cultural understanding. I'm not just talking about the regular demographics that we work with. And going back to the very beginning part of this, I do feel that there's a lot of overwhelm within our environment we see a consistent message. It's all about niche. It's all about avatar. It's all about messaging. Well, actually, it isn't. I mean, what about the 7 P's of marketing? Product, price, place, promotion, people. I've got 5. I can't remember the other 2. I did it at university. It was a long time ago. But the message gets really simplified, and then it gets recreated with what I call BBBs. And this is a bit not discriminatory, it's discrediting people, but I don't mean it. It's a bit of fun. Back bedroom bandits. I'm not just having some fun with it. It's just some people who want to make some money for themselves, and being a business coach or whatever type of coach, it's a low barrier to entry. So they might read a book, they might go and get somebody else's course or what have you not, stick it together and feel that they can then go out there and teach you that. But they haven't done it for themselves.
Right. Yeah.
Now, that's okay if they're transparent with that and their price. And that doesn't matter what they charge, as long as they're transparent with that. Say, hey, you know what? I'm a brand new business coach. I'm new into business myself. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be learning this. As I learn it, I'm going to be sharing it with you. Do you want to come in on my journey? So I'm going to, okay, that's a different kettle of fish to someone saying to you, hey, you must do this. This is a way of doing it. It's going to cost you $5,000. And secretly they're going, actually, I haven't done this before. And they're flying by the seat of their pants.
Yeah. Very
the other set of observations, Katerina, that I came up with, and then I'll pass the microphone to Rob, is why has this worked for you? And I've made 4 points down here, and these are more or less your words, and not one of these words is got nothing to do with any sort of business or marketing technicality.
Mhm.
Number one, the reason why this is working for you right now is because it's about you.
Mhm.
Number two, it's about your values and qualities.
Mhm.
Number three, it's your vision and life path. And number four, you feel valued and seen. And it's a combination of that
Mhm.
that really drives us forward. I mean, I've got a book here. It's one of mine. I'm just going to use it as an example. We can go out and buy a business book, whether it's from, I don't know, Russell Brunson, Grant Cardone, or whoever, and we can go through it. But it's their book, and it's their words. And what Rob will say in a minute, and many other things, is what we often try and do is to put a square peg in a round hole. We don't need to do that, and we actually end up overcomplicating life. We overcomplicate business, and we stop having fun.
Yes.
And when we stop having fun, things fall apart.
We go down
And-
here.
Yeah. And so what I like to do, and I encourage everybody to do this, is to bring some fun into their life. Marina said, what was number 4?
It's about your values and qualities.
Yeah.
Mary.
No, number 4 was feeling valued and seen.
Oh, sorry, valued and seen. Yes, yes.
Sometimes I like to bring in a little bit of fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick on somebody right now to ask me a question. And I'm not going to answer the question. And this is how I just like to bring a little bit of fun. So Angelica, I would like you to ask me any question in the world. It doesn't even have to be about this, anything.
Right. When actually did you understand what was your purpose?
When did I understand what my purpose was? Well, because I like to bring a little bit of fun into this world, I'm not going to answer the question. This book is. It's called the Book of Answers, right? So when did I understand the purpose and that I was going to bring into this world? It says that setting priorities will be a necessary part of the process.
Wow.
But the definition really isn't the answer from this, right? And it was actually quite a cool answer, and it's not too far off from where it is. But bring fun into your work. And when we go into some of the technicalities, and Rob and I have like how we build this together, or how you build it for yourself, it'll be, head down, making notes sort of thing. And the fun kind of gets put on pause for a few minutes because you're making notes, right? That's normal. But it was part of one of my reasons for tonight, like, right, okay, let's have some fun here tonight. So I know Katerina's always laughing and smiling, so that's interesting. Patrick does as he's told and follows her lead. So that was easy, So please, whatever you do, as you move forward, whatever problem that you have in your business, if you can address it with your values and your qualities, and you drop into your heart, and if that means you need to meditate for half an hour and go and walk around the forest, let go of this, drop into here, and it might mean picking the phone up and speaking to somebody and going, you know what's your take on this? You don't have to have all the answers. The answers already exist. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. If you can't think of it from here immediately, somebody around you in your area will have it. But that's quite a long introduction from me, and we're not even going into the training yet. I best put Rob on. Go on, Rob. You got anything to say, or shall I continue? Oh no, Rob's got nothing to say. Brilliant. Right. So.
It's very irritating not being a co-host because I can't eject him from the meeting, mute him. It's very irritating. Anyway, I'm joking. It's fine. I want to pick up on a few things, and that is that there's all of this stuff out there that teaches you how to build a business. Doesn't matter whether you're building a coaching business or a business, right? All this stuff. And Katerina mentioned something really important about the beginner level. And what you mentioned, Katerina, is so correct, because most of the stuff that's being taught is being taught at the intermediate to expert level, right? Which misses, it's like teaching people how to build the roof of the house and do the interior and decor before you've designed it, put in the foundations and built the walls. Right, that's where most of the business knowledge out there is that advanced intermediate to expert level. You might go, well, what's beginner level? Well, in real terms, beginner level is your first 50 active paying clients who pay you monthly. That's beginner level, first 50.
Yeah.
Right. I could even argue first 100. I could get quite close to arguing that.
Right.
And so. What are we going to share with you this evening? It's about that first 50 to 100, right? Can David and I, know how to go and do the intermediate and advanced stuff? Yes, but it's really not relevant to people unless you've got 50 to 100 clients. Yeah. And so what we're going to share with you tonight is that bit. Do we and can we do the rest? Yes. Frankly, that's the easy bit. Because we all know that designing a house is in collaboration with others is far harder than actually the building process itself.
Yes.
Right. You've seen those TV programs where they've like designed the house, and then the architect is tearing their hair out when somebody comes in with 85 changes halfway through the build process. The client doesn't want to pay all the extra money and this, that, and the other. It's because they didn't get the foundation right. Yeah. And that's what we're going to take you through tonight is that foundation phase, that first 50 to 100 customers. I want to pick up on another thing. Katerina mentioned about her individuality. I would say that my only job really is to help people find their individuality, often the individuality they cannot see for themselves, recognize it as their superpower and deploy it as a superpower in their business and their life. Right? Your individuality is the secret sauce to your business. It's why a one-size-fits-all model doesn't work. It's because they say, right, Katerina, you're into some form of spirituality and performance, I think, so you fit in this big box. Right, you fit in there with the human design and psychic people, because that's spiritual as well, and the performance people. We'll chuck a couple of sporty people in there, and we'll say that's you lot, and you like go and figure that stuff out for yourself. David's typing notes as usual. I gotta keep up with. David did what with Dave? I don't whatever. Carry on. Stop writing notes. So your individuality is your superpower, and that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. When you know it and recognize it, and somebody can help you find it, you already know what some of it is now, but the rest is hiding in plain sight. It's so close to you that you can't recognize it.
Yes.
Right.
David, I'm just going to read what David said, because he said that you did that with him. You told him, David, don't stop talking with people because you love it. He said you did that exactly the same thing for him.
Full disclosure, I was David's business coach and life coach for 3.5 years before I joined him in the business.
Where I was at, I wanted to streamline everything, get people into a funnel and a buy now button. And Rob's going, why are you doing that? Yeah. You actually really enjoy the one thing that you really enjoy doing, talking with people. You're trying to become a recluse. What's the point?
Yes. And my saving grace was that I was a rebel. So I didn't listen to that advice, you see, that they were giving me that went against the grain of my being. So I rebelled, and I couldn't care less if I paid 2,000 or 5,000. But I am glad I persisted, and I'm glad I found somebody who is actually ethical about saying, yes, this is the beginner level, this is where we meet you, and not selling intermediate stuff to the beginners and saying this will work for the beginner just the same, because it does not work for beginners just the same.
Katerina.
It's interesting that 95% or more of business owners are still at the beginner level. That would be an interesting 95%. How many business owners do you know who have 50 to 100 clients who pay them every single month? Right? How many? I don't think you're going to find very many.
Not many. Yep.
I knew there was a second reason why I loved you, because when you said ethical, I didn't hear ethical. I heard a new word.
Good.
Epical.
Epical. Good.
Yeah.
Good. I love it. I love it. Finally, my accent is working in my favor. Epical. I like.
Rob, are you okay if I give the structure of how we help Katerina and our other clients, and then you can start to rip it apart and we'll get some questions in and what have you not?
Oh,
Do you
go for
mind
it.
if we just check in with the participants here to see how is this resonating with them? Is this landing? Were you frustrated in the same way that I was frustrating? And I thought I was the problem, that I couldn't connect the dots, and I invested so much money. Surely there should have been something in return of that to show something for my effort. And I want to really lay it there on the line that was never the question, that I particularly cared to help the person that I was meant to serve. So how is this landing for you?
I think.
Marina?
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
I actually had a session with one of these high coaches, but she is a bit different herself anyway. And she actually said to me, Marina, you must stay with your difference. You must speak your difference. This will make sure that you get the right people.
Yes. Well, you found the epical one then.
Yeah.
Epical.
Good.
Mind you, I mean, I still haven't
We're not
done
saying
it.
they're not there.
But
yeah.
but because I am focusing on getting these books out. These books are absolutely foundational.
Yeah, exactly. So how is it resonating with you, Isabel?
Isabel, you're on mute.
Yes.
sweetheart.
All right, David. Yes, exactly. Right. Okay. For me, it still is the same thing, really. It's the fact that everywhere I go, I'm just always being, all this technology, and it's all about funnels and I feel I am in a group that I'm not gonna name, but it's all about creating these beautiful things and juicy thing, whatever, and lead magnets and all that. And for me, I'm thinking, surely this is not me. I'm not a very tech person, and I feel and they're creating beautiful content, and it's just not for me. And I've been 2 years, and I'm not scared of saying I've been in business 2 years now, and I've got all these, degrees and all these, certifying coaches. And yes, I've got a line, but it's still not all these things I'm doing with them and creating this, and I'm still rebelling because I still haven't created what I'm supposed to be creating. And I know why. It's because deep inside, I just feel it's not me. All these things they're asking me to do, and I'm struggling with the technology, and I don't like doing all this, and creating those copywriting and all these great. And I just feel that for me, it's not what my calling is to help, women, especially Black women that have problems in getting, their career going and having problems. And why am I doing all this stuff? I want to speak to them. I want to tell them I can help them. And I just think it's just doesn't resonate with me. And I've paid all this money, and this is where I am at now. I want something different. I want to be able to go back to basic. And me, I like speaking to people. I like, giving cards. I like doing all this and all. And I started doing what David is telling me to do, really, going back to basic and talking to people. And at the moment, I feel frustrated because it's still at the beginning and I haven't get the result yet. And I've got just a few clients, and it's not enough for me to leave my job. And it's frustrating me. And I'm thinking, where do I go from that? Because I want to make a go at something different. Yeah.
Right. Yes.
And because I don't really believe that what they're saying to me is the right way. It doesn't work for me, and where I am. This is why I like what David is saying, and I like following him because he's come with a different approach that resonates with me. And so I'm a bit in the middle at the moment because I'm still with a group at the moment, and
I'm probably eventually gonna leave because it's just not doing what I wanted to do for me.
Yeah. Oh, yes. It's good to stay with that question, Isabel. And I would just encourage you to think, do it sooner rather than later. Because you know what? If we make a mistake, we can always go back.
I know that, because I don't have, people don't hold me to account. When I want to do something, I'll do it.
Exactly.
But, I'm a quite strong-minded person, you see. So, but what I'm saying is actually, at the moment, I've created what David said to me, then I'm doing the marketing, and maybe I'm too harsh on myself because I've only just started last weekend, and I wanted to work, and yet I'm thinking, I don't want to do the other way because I don't believe in it, but
Yes.
I need to give this one a go by myself. And I said to David, I've always said the door is, he said to me, the door is still there for you and stuff. And if you want my help, and I know that eventually, by trying this, on my own, and it's not working, then I always got, well, okay, what is not been, why is it? It's probably going to help me, tell me this is why it's not working. Does it make sense?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
So this is why I'm still there, because I know that I like doing things by myself. And if it's not working, then I've always got the options of getting the guidance.
Mm-hmm. I would just suggest, ask yourself, why don't I do this now rather than waiting?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's it.
Just let go. Like when you're learning to swim, you can't always hold to the edge of the pool. You gotta help.
I know. But you want to, see if you're gonna swim first by yourself. That's me.
Oh, you can swim. You can swim when you have to.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Angelica, is this landed for you? Okay. What we heard so far is invaluable, isn't it?
Yes, deeply. I was thinking the fact that there's so many people, they always told to me, you need to feel like out of your comfort zone to reach more, to get more. But what comes to my mind now, the fact that we need to feel confident and comfortable on what we are doing on a daily basis, even just a walk. And you need to have fun, because the clarity fact is that everything is simple, and we make all complicated. So simplicity for me is the key. And I know that many times, so often, I make mistakes. But if I have in front of me people that they are genuine, transparent, and they can read and can catch my value and my soul, that mistakes are nothing.
Wow. Amazing.
So,
amazing insight there. Beautiful.
Yeah. So uniqueness in every sense.
Thank you. And we're going to give Patrick opportunity as well to say, is this resonating with you?
You just said no. May I speak, David? I appreciate you, sir. Thank you. You know what? I've told Katerina this story when it was like 2009, and I finally decided to read this book on how to start a business. The book was about that. The book was always in the back of my car, and I had always seen it, putting things in and taking things out. I had always seen it. And then one day I just decided I want to read this book because I've had an idea that I would start a business since I was really young, but had no clue on how to do it. So I started reading this book, and I didn't get through the first chapter before I said, I can't. The book was so intimidating with the language and the terminology and everything. It was way over my head, and I just put it down. And I had pretty much given up on starting a business for years after that. So I had that experience with a quote unquote coach. But then I've also seen all the commercials and things from all these gurus who are teaching things. I never really bought into their programs, except for a couple of books here and there. But it's insightful to hear Katerina's experience after having paid it over and over again, and then to say she came away with zero. That's like, wow. And so then I started working with Rob, and I already had RimPage going, but RimPage was targeting my major concern was producing a benefit for athletes, for people who are like me, who from the time they were in 6th grade knew they wanted to play pro ball, wanted that opportunity, didn't get that opportunity, and I was driven to give that opportunity to them. But then after having worked with Rob, he showed me how RimPage could also produce a business opportunity for other people who want to get into business, and they can get a reward for helping RimPage grow the league. So now I have a few legitimate business opportunities that RimPage can offer people, and it just makes the offer that much better. So, and it's what's enabling me to quit my job and provide for my family and stuff. So awesome. It's awesome to work with people who can get you results.
Yeah, that's it. That's the message in a nutshell. Thank you so much for that. And Rob, I'm sorry I took the mic away from you, but please.
I just wanted to pick up on a couple of things that was mentioned just by people. Thank you so much for those, Patrick, for what you just said about what we're doing with you. RimPage is very excited. But we're not here to talk about RimPage, but we are, but I'm very excited. Yeah. Very excited. But
next time we talk about
Angelica, you mentioned the idea of comfort zone, getting out of your comfort zone. And I think that's like pop psychology, because what normally happens is we leave our comfort zone in too many places at the same time, or in completely the wrong spaces, completely the wrong places. Our comfort zone is effectively, we know it to be a bubble, but actually it's more like a pizza. It's got chunks, right, all the way around. And what happens all too often is we get out of our comfort zone in the easy parts. You know, swiping a credit card really is an easy part. Yeah. Putting a post on Facebook is an easy part, right? And what we actually miss is getting out of our comfort zone on the important parts, right? And there's a huge difference between those two things. And most people know what the important parts are, but actually avoid them because it's too uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I don't see that.
Actually avoid them because it's too uncomfortable. And I was saying to David earlier, we came up with an equation, right? We were looking at all of the people who are having success in their coaching.
You're not gonna.
No, I'm not going to share the equation, but today. But we'll share it at some other point in time in the future. But it's very, very, very interesting when you look at the equation that we built, and it's a very simple equation. How the people who are leaving the comfort zone where they are doing it by the influence of social media rarely make it in business. Rarely. And I won't say never, but rarely. Why? Because actually social media is a negative magnifier of you and your business. Right? Actually, the internet is beyond a Zoom call, beyond like an in-person call of some sort. Think about this for a second. You build a landing page for your business, right? The only feedback you get is how many people visit your landing page and how far they scroll through it. You can get that through Google and through heat mapping. Yes. And then do they click the button, pay the money or fill in the form, yes or no, right? That's the only feedback you get. You get zero other feedback. Facebook posts are exactly the same. Instagram posts, TikTok, whatever you choose to do is all, LinkedIn is all exactly the same. All you get to know is how many people comment. You don't know how many people read it and go, idiot, and move on.
Yep.
Right? So all social media does is magnifies all your problems because you carry on putting content up or landing pages up in the same style, in the same way, hoping to get different results. And the one thing that you're missing is feedback from a group of people who are your clients, who love you enough to share with you the truth about how it is they view the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right? That's what you're missing. And when you leave beginner zone and you get to 50 or 100 customers paying you every month in your business, which is a real business at that point in time, they'll tell you, oh, I'll tell you what, you should make this change to your landing page. You're like, why is that? Because this doesn't speak to me. And if they're your ideal customer, you should really listen and make the change to the landing page before you go live with it. They'll help you construct all of your social media posts. So that at the point in time when you do go to social media, you've actually got a group of clients who love you, who not only are going to share your message and tell all their friends about you and do all comments, do all those other wonderful things, they'll actually help you design your social media so it actually works when you put it up.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Ready?
I've got a client, and I'll hand over to David in a second. I've got a client I was with at 4 o'clock this afternoon before I came into the RIM page call. He said, Rob, I'm part of a group where we're taught how to use Facebook to get customers for our coaching business. There's 182 of us in the group. I was like, oh, that's really nice. We've all been doing it for over a year. I'm like, that's fantastic. She said 3 people have made money.
Wow.
3. I was like, how many have broken even on the program?
None. Yeah.
Nearly all of our clients break even on their spend with us within 2 to 3 months. Some, Joanna, earlier this year, broke even in 8 days. Right?
Yep.
There we go. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. Thank you very much for sharing that of your insights. And David, I just want to hand you over to take us through the
God for that.
meat on the bone.
I've been dying to start. We're an hour in, and we're getting to the good stuff now.
Yes.
I mean, the really good stuff. I mean, if you like what you've seen before, you're gonna kill for this.
Your part is the really good part, right?
Yeah,
Always.
yeah. I mean, that bit. That's you go into the movie theater, and you get that's the bit when you buy the popcorn, right? This is the bit you want to watch, right? I don't know where that analogy came from, but I'm going to use it again.
Really good. Yeah.
So I'm going to pick up on a couple of Rob's points, which is then going to take me into how we've been working with Katerina. First of all, I think it was 3 years ago, I decided to do something called the Discovery Call Challenge. And the way I went about promoting it was about getting client feedback. So Isabel's asked a question in here, in terms of market research. So Isabel, this is exactly how I did it. And this is how I did it with a website, a one-page website. And you don't even need to do this with a website, because what we've got now actually is better than that. So when I explain this to you, please don't feel that, oh yeah, let's go out and run out and go and do this. I'm really skilled in sales and marketing, and I've been selling and marketing since I was 8 years old, when I used to pirate Commodore 64 computer games and sell them to the teachers and kids at school. So I've been doing it all my life. It's just a natural thing. Angelica's got to leave. No worries, Angelica. Thank you very much for being here, and catch up with us later. So the Discovery Call Challenge, what I did is, I'm not going to go into what the program was, but it was a low fee. But I created a web page, and I made a list of people who I thought would be interested in it. So I sent them a message. These are people I kind of knew already. I said, hey, I'm about to do this. Would you be so kind to give me some constructive feedback, please, on this page before I launch it? Some people didn't reply because they don't reply. Some people said, well, I'm not interested in that anyway, so it's not for me. Okay. And some people said, yes, I'll give you some constructive feedback on it. So sent it to them. And then I said, all I want to know is this. Tell me why you would buy, or tell me why you wouldn't buy. And I got on the phone with them. Katerina, thanks ever so much for looking at this. Can I ask you, is this for you? And if Katerina said, yeah, David, this is for me, this is fantastic. Well, that's the best feedback I can get. So would you recommend any changes? She might say yes, she might say no. But I'd make a note and I'd say, okay, Katerina, there's a link, join. Because she was reading it but actually engaging in it for herself, right? She was thinking about it from feedback, but Katerina, I'm just using your name here. I know we didn't do this together.
Yes.
Yeah, just to let everybody know, Katerina didn't do this. We're going to call this person Alice instead, just for the sake of confusion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, David, looks really good. Fantastic. When does this start? Starts on Monday. Would you like to join, Alice? Yes, I would. Brilliant. If Alice said, I don't quite understand that bit there, I'd go, right, and I'd re-explain it to her.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the website, I would readdress the copy that I'd wrote.
Right.
Because if she can't understand it, it means that other people can't understand it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes Alice would ask a question. I thought, I've not answered that question in my sales copy. So then I answered the question for her live on the call. So what I was doing was I was getting legitimate feedback to be able to update my website so it would be better moving forward. But what I was also doing was Alice was telling me her objections
Mm-hmm.
for not moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, okay, well, this is the answer to that. Oh, if I put that in, or if I change that out, would you join? So I can't get the right number. I forget the right number. I did write it down. I think I had 70 phone calls in a week.
Mm.
I converted 68. So, yeah. So there's only a $21 a month offer.
Yeah.
As you can see, if you know what Rob and I do right now, you can kind of like, well, that was like the baby steps right at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I did. And again, well, right. So let's just take that there. And now I just want to move over into what Rob was saying, and people put people into funnels and whack them through and all that sort of palaver. If you're unsure about the skill sets of a business coach, marketing coach, sales coach, ask them their opinion so tell me, how important is engagement on social media? And if they say to you, engagement is everything, it's brilliant, you really need to go out there, engagement, put a big fat question mark about next to joining that person. My posts get very little engagement, and I'm not after a lot of engagement. And if whoever watches this, I ask you, how many clients do you need a month? Let's say it's 5.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say that's 1 a week. But if you get 20 people engaging with you over a period of week, I don't need engagement. I need quality engagement.
Yes.
And that's a massive difference. Oh, I've got 1,500 views. I've got 400 people liking it. Okay, so the last time I looked at things, views, likes, and comments didn't put food on my table.
Mm.
What puts food on my table is I get a friend's request from somebody, and sometimes somebody makes a nice comment on there, and a friend requests them and have a conversation, but I don't jump into sales mode.
No.
It's right, Alice, thanks very much for that. Really appreciate you commenting, because your question was important. I have to be genuine here. Alice, I really enjoyed your question. It's important. I think a lot of people are asking the same question as you. It not only did it help the post, it helped the group as well.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Alice comes back, starts to have a genuine conversation with me.
Mm-hmm.
She might say, well, tell me about your stuff. And sometimes I say, hey, look, I've got a little bit of a freebie here if you want to go and have a look at it. Sometimes I don't. I gauge it. I don't go and try and hop on a call.
Mm-hmm.
I just create a relationship, because I want Alice leaving that little scenario with me going, David, he's all right, isn't he? He gives that good information. He's not trying to steal my cash,
Here, Alice is going to say something. That's exactly how it happened, David. It was a relationship that developed. You were asking who wants to participate in a book writing project, and I said yes to that. But you provided business coaching with that, which I didn't ask nor expect, and it was a free gift to people who joined joined the book writing, David said, I'm a business coach and this is what I do. And he actually provided documents and templates and explained how business works in very simple terms that like I have not come across this before. They always approached this from a very complicated point of view, like you need to have this mindset to understand it and make it work. But David was so straightforward, didn't sell me anything. It was the relationship and the connection happened quite naturally when I was ready for this next step. He was the next logical step to join.
Yeah, I don't want to hook clients in, because if we look at it from a universal spiritual point of view, do we want to try and bring people in with scarcity, the dark force, or or do we want to be a bit more Obi-Wan Kenobi and Princess Leia and and the rest of them, and go out there with abundance? So the reasons why I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Discovery Call Challenge that I did there a couple of years ago, and the engagement situation, because it brings us nicely into this section here in terms of how Rob and I have helped Katerina. So we understand that most coaches, not all, most coaches either don't feel good alongside, don't want to understand, don't want to put together, don't want to get into the technicalities of sales or marketing.
Yeah.
So that is a big block. So what I wanted to do is to find a way of how coaches can impact other people, and true impact with accountability, while feathering their nest, so to speak, by making some money out of it. Because what a lot of coaches will do is, because they do want to feel self-value, they'll go out there and they'll create a free group, come and join my group. And then they'll give a load of information out, or they'll limit the amount of information, whatever. But what happens is people don't turn up, they don't show up, it's a waste of time, and the coach gets a little bit depressed with it, and they'll can it, and they'll start thinking about something else in the future. And there's so many free Facebook groups and social media groups out there. I've got no idea how many I'm in. I really don't. I mean, I every now and again, I just delete, and what have you not. And there's a word that Patrick used earlier, and I wrote it down. I didn't underline it. I'm going to underline it now. When it comes to sales and marketing, I feel there's a lot of coaches and healers out there that feel intimidated by not just the language, but the way that we're encouraged to do things. And the energy is just completely alien and at times abhorrent. And that is not going to serve you, your family, or anybody else. So that was kind of my challenge. How can I, and because I was doing this before Rob, and then I'll show you how Rob came in, which is great. In fact, Rob will probably tell you that. How can I help coaches find more clients where they get paid, where it doesn't feel like sales, it doesn't feel like marketing, and they can use their best natural skills: empathy, listening, understanding, feedback, talking, recommendations. And so we came up with, what if you create a paid community where people pay you just $1 a day? Then you might be thinking, oh, I'm not going to make a lot of money there, am I? Well, if you know Katerina, she only has 10 people in her group, and Katerina does very, very well. Why? Because it's been easy for Katerina to go, and we've helped to understand the people who she wants to work with, and we're talking about values and qualities here, the people that she wants to work with, and the transformation that Katerina wants to help them go on. So if Katerina can have an easy conversation with, let's say, Patrick, and just having a natural conversation as we do, and we don't have to find these people on social media, by the way, because we actually know people in our phones already. And if we don't know them in our phones, we've got people in our phones who know the people who you need to be in touch with.
Oh, yeah.
So we could go out there and have a conversation and say, hey, you know, do you know anybody like this who needs that? Have a nice conversation about it and say, well, look, I've got this group. It's only $1 a day. Do you want to give it a go? That's the top and bottom of it. It's $1 a day. Do you want to give it a go? So if Patrick said to me, hey, David, you know, you're a single guy and it's about time that you got yourself on the dating scene and I'm the king of dating. I'm going to turn you into the hottest stud in Cognac. And you're going to have all these women dripping off your arm. Pretend I'm single, by the way, right? Pretend I'm single. You know, it's only $1 a day. Do you want to give it a go? I'm like, why not? I mean, what can I get for $1 a day? I can tell you that this bottle of water, Vichy water, costs more than $1. You know, yet I'm getting into the expertise of Patrick. Now, if Patrick has a small group of, let's say, 33, and by the way, a group of 33 is huge for Katerina. She doesn't want to go anywhere near that. But 33 would make $1,000 a month. And here's the beautiful thing. Because the price point is low, the expectations on you, Marina, are not high. Because the price point is low, I know you are. the expectations on you are low. Here's the really, really cool thing. The really cool and beautiful thing that Katerina absolutely adores, as do our other clients. When those people in your group want to take further action, more in-depth action, where they need that one-to-one contact, who do they speak with? You. They know your prices beforehand. So when they say, hey, Isabel, if I remember rightly, you're trying to help black ladies enhance themselves in their career. Hey, Isabel, I've got some issues with feeling confident and being confident when I go into interview. I need some one-to-one help with that. And Isabel goes, okay, let's have a quick chat about it and we'll see what we can do. Isabel asks some questions, doesn't need to go into teaching mode there. And the person already knows Isabel's prices. Says, okay, so when do you want to start? Isabel doesn't need to do a sale. Doesn't need to do any marketing for these people. Doesn't need to feel, in fact, the pressure's off. Because the propensity is the fact that the lady who's speaking to Isabel right now has got her credit card there going, Isabel, please take some money off me because I really need to work with you. Because they've been in Isabel's group for, I don't know, 2 days or 2 weeks or 2 months. And the other great thing about this, when it's $1 a day, you bill it monthly, $31 a month, and you're building a recurring revenue, Marina. So a lot of life coaches, they are broke tomorrow being February the 1st, if you're watching this on January the 31st. They're broke tomorrow. They're broke tomorrow. Why? Because they rushed out, tried to get some clients, got those clients in, started to deliver the service, and then those clients have gone. But if you can steadily build them up, deliver them lovable content, and Rob's going to come into that. And Rob, I'm going to wrap my bit up in a second so you can jump in. And you look after them and take care of them. Let's say you get 10 people this month, and let's say 20% drop off. But next month, you've got 8 people all paying you $31. That doesn't sound an awful lot. But let's say you get another 8. So the following month, you've now got 16. So you've got 16 people, brilliant. 20% drop off, no problem. Now, you might not get 20% dropping off. You might get no percent dropping off. But if you're recruiting, let's just say 1 person a week over the course of the year, and this is long term, over the course of a year, you've got 50 people in your group. Multiply that out by $31 or $30 because it makes math a lot easier. You've got $1,500 a month coming in. And out of that 50, if you're running a mastermind, and that mastermind is, I don't know, you're doing you got another product, it's a mastermind, it's $250 a month, and you're doing 2 private Zooms a week, and you've got 8 people in your mastermind, guess what? You've got another $2,000 there. And maybe, so now up to $3,500. And maybe you've got 10 clients, a client in the morning and a client in the afternoon, Monday through Friday. They're only paying you $100, oh, whatever. I'm not going to do the math now because I've lost my sums. But you're over $10,000 a month just by having this paid community of 50 people. And another really cool thing about this paid community, if you give them really cool, lovable content and they can see the support that you get, they go, David, I know a whole bunch of coaches. Rob, I know a whole bunch of coaches. Can we do a Zoom together? Because I want to share my success with my friends, to show my friends the real truth about marketing and how you and Rob can help them, because that's what Katerina's absolutely done. What I'm saying is this: your clients, not all, because that's the nature of life, and that's fine. There'll be a number of your clients that'll be asking you, can you take my friend on? Can you take my friend on? Do you have more room? So the top and bottom of this is this: create group coaching, take it away from Facebook. We recommend WhatsApp. You can use Telegram or what have you not. Keep it in a nice private area. Give them a transformation. Give them livable content. Don't hurt yourself. Don't knock yourself out. Have conversations with people and ask them if they want to give it a go. And you will surprise yourself. And you don't need to worry about webinars or in terms of like sales webinars or websites or funnels or paid ads or sending out 30 direct messages a week, a day, or whatever. You go out, be in your, I was going to say be in your zone, but you can be in your zen. Zine, you be in your zine. That's like zen and zone mixed together. You can be in your zine. You can go out there and just be you and live life on your terms. And if you've got 50 people in your group and you go, right, 50, that's it, it's enough, it's one in, one out now. I'm not going to, if somebody wants to leave, okay, I've got room for one more. Brilliant. Those other 49 people, by the way, will find you that extra person. So there's no sales or marketing for you there to do. You can deliver, I don't know, let's say you're delivering 10 minutes of content a day. Now you're delivering 20 minutes of content because you've got the time, lovable content. You're doing it. So 20 minutes a day is what, an hour and a half over the week, Monday to Friday. You're doing a 1 hour session in the morning, 1-to-1. You're doing an hour session in the afternoon, 1-to-1, 5 days a week. That's 10 hours plus an hour and a half. Plus you're doing an hour and a half mastermind. You're doing 13 hours of content delivery and you're making over 10K. Now, I don't know what you want to do with the rest of the time, but I like walking and cycling. And when I'm not doing that, I'll let Rob do the talking.
I love it. It's like a punchline. David Poole.
Oh, I want to be on stage.
You were born to be on stage.
Hold on. Am I born to be on stage? Go back to the book of
Yeah, let's see what the book says.
He says no. I'm going to get version 2.
There you go.
Any questions, by the way, to ask Rob from that? Because Rob can answer them.
Well, a question, David, we can all play with is, what did we all do before 2004? Right? Before 2004, there was no Facebook. Think about it. There was all the social media platforms we know didn't exist.
It was MySpace, wasn't it? And really bad graphics.
That's it, MySpace. But like, it wasn't there. What did we do beforehand? Now, in many respects, people actually are craving to have an experience similar to before social media. They feel overwhelmed, anxious, stressed, under pressure, bombarded by social media, right? It tells them how to live a fake, perfect life that they hate the idea of secretly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? And yet, as coaches, we try and go to the place where the customer really hates what they get from that place to market our services. And therefore, we align a hateful product with what else they experience. That's not true for the whole of social media. Social media, for bigging things up and saying so-and-so is great, look what a great job they're doing, it's a wonderful place for. But we misuse social media as a marketing platform that it's not actually supposed to be.
Very true. Very, very.
It's a
Garden
community
fence.
building place. So pre-2004, what did we do? We went and spoke to people, right? We went and spoke to, had conversations, picked up the phone, asked friends and family who they know, asked colleagues who they know. We actually had real conversations. And then how did we grow our business? We delivered a service that was so good and got people the results that they wanted for a price they could afford, where they couldn't help but boast about you and refer their friends and family and colleagues into your business. That's what happened for a successful business before 2004.
Indeed.
Right? And simply put, that's what David and I help you do. We help you find your superpower, deploy it for the benefit of a specific group of people at a price they can afford, where they're going to get results that they want, and where they will have an experience that's so great, they'll bring their friends and family in to join you, because it's simply the right thing to do.
Yep.
And that's what we help you do.
Rob, I like the real life stuff away from coaching. I mean, you know, you've just had your car washed, right? And you like your car, Rob. You've got a nice car. I've got a nice car. Oh, Rob, I've just had my car valeted. Oh, where'd you get that done? And you want to share things in your life, right? When you've got little things that are really like nuggets of gold, and we forget that because we're always in business mind. But oh yeah, I don't use pods. But I've got these new pods, or I've got this new phone, or I've got this new shirt, or have you seen that new bistro in town? What Rob's telling you about is what normal people do every day of the week. But when we go into social media, we wear these blinkers.
Yeah.
It was being normal.
Yeah. We start being someone else. Exactly. And we have, yeah, exactly. Oh.
And so really speaking, the way to build a great business is to have a whole bunch of people who love you, who pay you a small amount of money to love what you do so much that gravity feeds them down through your business to the other products and services that you want to offer. We filled our retreat. We've got a retreat, David, haven't we, in Cognac, France in September. Right? We do now. You might be what David said, you know, do these peak other coaches? We walk our own talk, right? We filled our retreat in 90 minutes.
Well, hold on a second, right? We filled out plenty of people. I mean, we don't need any more people putting their hand up. By the way, Patrick, I know you don't know about this, but you've kind of like, your name's been put on the list. But
we've got a passport now.
We've
only got 7 places, and 13 people put their hand up straight away going, I'm interested.
Yeah.
And then we said, okay, there you go. Come to us. 3 people have paid already.
Right.
But we've not gone out there, and that was within the first 90 minutes. And the others are going, yeah, we'll just sit there. But that'll sell. We don't need to do any more marketing on that, because
Here's the great thing. No web page, no sales funnel, no marketing copy, no ad spend.
No.
We haven't even told people where they're staying, what they're doing, what we're going to be covering.
Or the content.
We literally said, come to Cognac for a week. We'll ensure you stay somewhere really nice. It'll be cool content all centered around you. It will be fun. Yeah. The end. We did all this in WhatsApp messages.
And we have a client. we have a client, Natalie Forrest, and Rob and I have been speaking about this already. Natalie's on the phone to me. She said, David, when are you and Rob going to do something and have a retreat? I said, Natalie, give me 5 minutes. Put the phone down to her, phone Rob. I said, we're going to do a retreat in September. And he went, right, okay, you're on. So I phoned this property that I know. And I said, do you mind if I come over? And he went, yeah, I said, what you like in September? He said, oh, we're free. I said, okay, we'll have the 2nd to the 9th. Get back in touch with Rob. Rob, I've told everybody we're going to do it between the 2nd and the 9th. And he went, I can't do it then. My birthday's on the 2nd. I need to be at home. So I just changed it. I even changed the dates. And if people putting their hand up said, oh, can't do the 2nd. Oh, don't worry about it. That was Rachel, wasn't it? Don't worry about it. I'll shift it to the 9th. It's fine. But he's right. No, I think I put 2 photos up there of the accommodation.
Yes.
But they don't know where it is in Cognac. They don't know the content because we don't know it yet. Content's going to be around our clients, right? It's going to be about what they want to change. And the activities, but Rob's absolutely right. No web page, no blurb, and yeah, sorry, Rob, I can't shut up tonight. I just enjoy myself.
But when I've been coaching for 30 years, actually 31 years this year, and I've trained thousands of coaches, and I've worked as a business coach for hundreds and hundreds of coaches, and I know coaches pretty well, I think, at this point in time. And there's things like that. Most coaches want to have like a really cool podcast or a conference or a seminar or a retreat or a book or something. Like there's a thing they want to do, like a flagship thing for their business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And most of them obsess about it. They have this thing they want to do. And then they focus on doing it. It takes them so much time, effort, energy. I actually found a coach. He's in Portland, Oregon. He ran his retreat at a loss because of the amount of marketing spend, time and effort he put into it and the agency he used and blah, 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 blah. That's not a business.
No.
Not even a charity runs a retreat at a loss.
Yep.
Right? They're a not-for-profit because they break even. And there he is. And he's so chuffed that he's got this retreat going and it's this and it's that. And I'm like, yeah, but the retreat cost you $2,000. How's that a thing? Like, I'm not saying we should rip people off.
Yes.
Right. And do whatever else. But if we're going to run a business, at least be the correct side of the zero. Make some money.
Yeah.
I've coached a lot of not-for-profits, and the first thing I do is get them to make a profit.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And the retreat that we're having, I think we make about 4.5, 5K.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a lot of money, but the 7-8 people that come, bear in mind it's in September, they're not going to leave between now and September. That's that's one thing. The other thing is it's going to be like our flagship.
Yeah.
Wow, I wish I could have done that. And so it creates that.
Exactly.
And also, when you have your own retreat, if you want to go down that line or a book or a podcast or what have you not everybody has them.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do have them, it's a bit of a flag in the sand to show your clients that you're the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
You choose what you want, you choose how you want to do it. Even if you didn't want to retreat and you wanted to go on a holiday to, I don't know, let's say Jamaica, and I'm going to be on holiday in Jamaica. This is a hotel I'm going to be at. I'm going to be there for 10 days. If anybody wants to come with me, and we're going to have a good time. You could even do it like that if you want to. But yeah, sorry, Rob.
That's it. I don't have anything more to say. I just want to thank you for your time and ask if you have any questions for us. I've got a coaching call in 5.5 hours time. So
need the rest. Yes.
Hi,
Thank
Rob.
you. Thank you for your time and input here. And while the participants are thinking of questions, and we will address if anyone catching us on replay as well leaves a question after this. I want to say that you made this presentation really fun and talked about many elements. But the important thing here is that you really produce the result for your clients, and you do it in such a way that seems very natural. None of this, like we never talked about my retreat. I was selling high ticket retreat, right? And I sold it online retreat because I launched it as an online retreat before we could go because of the pandemic, right? I couldn't do it in person. I already have the location. But this was the missing piece in my business. Having the easy translation from the ideal client who already I can give the best value to naturally translate that client into naturally inviting them to come to retreat, you see. That was the missing piece, that free Facebook group couldn't connect that, and getting hundreds of people into the free Facebook group and putting a lot of effort into that did not produce the result. So when I tell you to pay attention to what David and Rob was saying, it's because they are business coaches, right? I am not, and I'm happy, to be who I am and that I can make impact in my way. And really grateful to have had their guidance, and so grateful that they were so generous in sharing that information freely today with all of us, as honoring each other here as friends, and sharing this entrepreneurial journey and impacting lives in a positive way. So I'm very grateful for all of you that have showed up. And if anyone has any questions, please feel free.
I had a question, and Rob, we sort of touched on this in our other meetings about RimPage offering a coaching opportunity for basketball coaches. It just seems like it's a natural fit, but how would we approach that as a business, as opposed to an individual coach? How could we set that up?
So we're talking about supporting basketball coaches to be better basketball coaches.
Yeah.
Or are we talking about those basketball coaches to create their own business?
It could be either way, because I can sort of see an opportunity either way.
Well, there is an opportunity in both ways. I think though that you've got to get the cart in front of the horse in front of the cart.
Yes, definitely that.
And so if you want to give basketball coaches the opportunity to go and build their own business, maybe RimPage sets up a community for basketball coaches to bring them in and add them value, create that lovability. Yeah, upskill them as coaches, but equally create the dialogue with them where we can say, we do get you, we do understand that you're, delivering pizza and serving beer in your spare time in order to go and afford to take the pay cut to be a basketball coach. We get you. You're now becoming a world-class basketball coach with us, but have you ever thought about setting up your own basketball business? We've got a template for you.
Yes.
Right. And I think by doing it that way, you put the horse in front of the cart. You build the relationship. Trust, love, like is like three things, or like, trust, love, know, those sorts of things. Yeah. You build that up, and then you offer the next opportunity, which is the within RimPage, build your own basketball gym, business, whatever we decide to call it. Yeah. And I think that would be the way forwards. And what you'd also do then is the group that you'd created for the basketball coaches to be part of, to know you, trust you, like you, whatever else, as they're setting up their business, you say to them, remember that experience we gave you? And they're like, yeah. And it worked for you, didn't it? And they're like, yeah, go copy that for your customers. And you'll have a successful business.
Yes.
And we're like, oh, well, it worked for us, so I guess it'll work for them. And so they've already experienced the model, and they've got something they can easily replicate in their own way.
Right. Same like this WhatsApp group that we were talking about as a starting for coaches is just invaluable. Very beautiful.
Isabel's going to drop off. Thanks,
yes.
Isabel.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
I think Marina has a question.
Yeah, I was late tonight because I had a I don't think of her as a client, but somebody who needed to come to me. And I'm suddenly getting 4 women have approached me
Mm-hmm.
In the last 2 weeks. And the one yesterday, actually, she got back to me and said, look, I'm sorry I missed the call. Can we, I'm going away. And I suggested things she might do while she was away. And then I'm going to see her the week beginning of the 13th. So I've already got, I've been, I was a teacher all my life. And then since I've been, following a sort of spiritual life, I've automatically sort of gathered people who come to me or listen to me because I've gone through a lot of suffering. So I know how to help people face pain, how to go through pain, how to not run away from pain and find strength in it. So I'm just wondering how I can, these some of the people that I'm seeing probably could afford something a month. The one I saw tonight is a student, so I'm not sure that she could. I don't know how I could, in that sense, make it a business. One of the things I'd thought about and set up on Wix, a group called the New Jerusalem, which is essentially about people who are really willing to live by faith and ride every wave with joy. It's but I haven't done it because I was getting on with the book. So book one is out, book 2 is about to be published, book 3, God willing, is going to be finished and out by Easter. So
can I come in and give you some help?
Yeah.
I'd like to ask you a question first, and it's a leading question, and I'm going to drop you right in it.
That's all right.
Are you a lady of faith? Do you have faith?
Absolutely. That's what I live for.
Yeah. Okay. Should we go judging people?
No.
Okay. So that student, should we make assumptions of how much money that student's got and where they're willing to place it?
I don't see that as a judgment.
Oh, okay.
Judgment is it's not a critical.
No, I'm not talking about criticism.
We're talking about fact, facts or not. I'm just actually said, I don't think she would.
But what I'm saying is, don't let that worry you. Really don't let that worry you. When we give people the opportunity, it allows them to follow their path in the way that they want to. Mm. And a lot of coaches, from the goodness of their heart and the way that you're doing, from the goodness of your heart, is, should I put that in front of her because I don't want to hurt that person because he or she might not be able to take up on it. But by doing that, we're closing the door to opportunity to them. So let have the opportunity, and but in terms of a business, that the group that you have, it needs to be something like Patrick's group. What we've just been discussing about, where there's a goal, a transformation, or Katerina's group where there's a transformation. If I work with Marina, this group is going to help me to become or to be a better what? So if they know what that transformation is, and then, it's a paid community, it's $1 a day, it covers my expenses.
Yeah.
It covers my
that's I've already sort of, that's gone through my mind in terms of the legitimacy of charging, right? In relation to expenses and being able to keep going, because I'm now I've just run through all my expenses today, because I'm meeting with somebody tomorrow about taking on a flat, and I had to know how much I'd got.
Mhm.
And actually, when I've paid all the Zoom and the blah, blah, and the business expenses and other things, I have not got a lot of money, so
Yeah.
I do actually need it.
Do you have any clients right now?
Not like that, no.
Do
I
you-
mean, I
do
have
you
a
have-
lot of.
Do you have any paying clients? I don't need to know how much money, but do you have any paying clients that are paying you regularly every week or every month?
No.
Right. Okay. Do you have business expenses?
Yeah,
Right.
I've just got a lot of tax back because of it.
Okay. But those business expenses, website, Zoom, and all those bits.
Yeah,
If you don't have any clients right now,
I know.
and you're a teacher or been a teacher for so many years, so you understand the importance of being able to listen and therefore deliver content. There are tools that exist, such as this thing in your mouth, it's called tongue, and phones. My friendly advice to you, if you want to take it, you don't have to hear it, you don't have to take it, is how about you just give up those business expenses?
Oh no, I'm not holding on to them like this. I've just gone through my tax return, and I'm thinking, okay, we really need to look very carefully at this.
I think what you need to do, if it's okay, is work out who you'd really love to help and the stories that you'd love to tell, and what. Let's just imagine like you had 10 million in your bank account tomorrow morning, and where you just wake up every morning going, oh, I can't wait to go and work with these people. Find that, understand where that is in your heart, go out there, go and find them, and you'll know what the transformational activities are that they need, because you'll know their end goal. And just gonna say, do you want to give it a go? Do you want to give it a go? And that's.
I hear what you're saying. I believe what you're saying. I'm doing what you're saying because I am working with people. I just don't get paid.
When did you last ask them?
Well, I did, when I first set up this Wix thing, this private group.
I like you, by the way. You got a bit. You got a bit of strength in there. Go on, I'm listening.
Of course I have.
Yeah, I'm going to overcome you. You know that, don't you?
There's only one person allowed to overcome me.
Yeah.
And he wins.
He's on my side.
Yeah. He's making me listen to you. So
That's nice, really nice.
I forgot what I was going to say now. There you are, you see.
Something about Wix. You started.
Oh, yeah. No, one woman who desperately, because I did have some paying clients. I ran courses and had continuing work, and then people just dropped off. They didn't really. A lot of people don't want to persevere with the continuing journey. They just want to drop off. But there's one woman who does work with difficult people and gets a lot of value from being in contact with me. In fact, she'll ring me up when she's in difficulty. She wanted to join up. She wanted to pay.
Well, what did you say?
Well, I think she paid, but you see, then I was having to move from down south. I had to move. I was moved by him upstairs, to come to a place where I could work and be free. Right?
Do you have a mobile phone?
Yeah.
Does that mobile phone work in the south?
Listen.
The north?
Just look, listen. You try. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I have kept going. I have kept all these people sort of, on the boil. Now I'm ready. So don't judge.
I'm not judging you. Right, naughty. If there's one person or there's one transformation that you help people with, what is it, Marina? What do people?
I just help them believe it, that God is with them and that they can do it.
Right. What's the it that they want to do?
Well, it's never the same, my sweet. It's really about, sometimes it's about being able to say no to other people's demands.
Right.
Sometimes it's being able to say yes to God's request and believe that they can do it. Now, believe that he will give them grace.
My wording that I'm going to use here is not perfect. I really am shooting from the hip a little bit here, but it's based on what you've just said about saying no at certain times. What if you had a group about people pleasing?
Wow.
I'm not going to dig any deeper than that because I don't know where you want to take that. I'm just using it as like a helicopter point of view. But what if you had a group about people pleasing where and boundaries and things like that and everything else we can put in there, and then relate that to God in any way that you want to, in any way that or not any way that you want to, in any way that you know is right.
I like that idea.
And then the people in your phone, you can ring up everybody. And if you want to, or however you want to do it, and say, I'm creating this wonderful group. I've met this fantastic, gorgeous man who lives in France, right? and his name is David, so therefore he's the beloved of God. Right? It's true, right?
I know what David means.
I know. And I don't want to tell you to do that.
Mais
I'm
c'est
just giving
vrai
you
que vous habitez en France?
à Cognac,
Oh,
à Charente.
Vraiment?
Oui. Vous avez un petit accent anglaise, excusez-moi. I also got an English accent as well when I speak French. But
when I was speaking to somebody on Saturday, she said, "Oh, vous êtes de France aussi?"
Ooh.
So yeah. So maybe if you feel like a people-pleasing group where they can say no, and I understand why they can say no, and then I'm going to use some words that you might use, but rather than following a person's path, follow God's path, follow your life path in the eye of God, or however you would phrase that. I'm going to help you do that, and by being in my group, this is how you're going to start to feel in your life. And I think the expression, what you said to me earlier, is something like how you want it or how you want your life to be. So join my people-pleasing group. We're going to get rid of all that negative stuff that's hanging around you like a bad fart. And what we're going to do is we're going to open you up in this wonderful way to God, where you can live life on your terms in the way that you want. And would you like to give it a try? It's just $1 a day. They can say to you, Marina, this sounds lovely. I would love to, but it's not something that I can do right now. I don't have the money for it. If you wanted to say to them, give me a donation for the first month if you want to, just let me know. You can do that if you want to. You don't have to. It's your choice. You do what feels right. Just Rob and I are like signposts, and the closer you get to the signpost, there are other signposts that we can help you with. But you're the compass. Sits in here, right? This is your business. This is your life, and you live it on your terms, following your spiritual life path, not ours. But you've told me there's a group of people who need you. You've told me where they're trying to get to. And when I said, what's the one thing they want? You said, well, they want loads of things, but they want to, then you said, but they need to learn how to say no to some people. I'm like, well, there's your group.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking of a particular person, okay. But I think it's true for all of them. And this young woman, she's just so locked in her head. I mean, the problem for everybody, and you've said it, people are just locked in their head. They don't know how to listen in their heart. They don't know how to get, into that strong sense of being and know who they are.
Now you're creating activities. One of the things that we do in our people-pleasing group is we allow you to step out of your mind and into your heart. And when you're in your heart, all that people-pleasing goes straight out the window.
Well, I'd be more likely to call it a head to heart group or something like that. But that it's important that
1 second. You get. I've got to show you something.
What is he going to show us?
I dread to think. I'm going to have to disappear in a second, folks. The African
you so
government,
much.
South African government's going to turn my electricity off in about 2 minutes.
Oh,
And delightful. And I've got a phone call in 5 hours' time that I need to go to bed and then wake up for. So
Thank
it's
you
nice
for
meeting
being
you.
with us.
Nice meeting
always
you.
a pleasure, Rob.
Yeah.
Thank
cheers,
you.
mate. Thank
Thank
you.
you for
Thank
everything.
you very much. Right, I can't see heart.
Hard set.
Set.
All right, yeah. I'm always talking to people about stop talking about mindsets
Yes.
and talk about a heart.
Isn't
set.
this a sign, Marina? There's something happening today. We're having a breakthrough here. I feel it. We have been on this path, you and I, for a while. I have a feeling that Marina would fill that group faster than any one of us has.
Yeah, in any way, shape you want. I mean, what is it to fill a group? It could be 10 people or 30 people.
Exactly.
My feeling though, Marina, and this is recording, so I don't know if you want to stop the recording. It's entirely up to you.
Yes. I think we
edit
should
it
just
out.
wind up for the people watching this or
Okay.
who will see us live, because it was still streaming live as well.
Okay, great. So I've got something for Marina in a second. It's a bit more personal. So
Yes. So we're going to stay on a call, as you saw. And this is exactly what I was telling you. When you find someone who really does something because they connected with their own mission and purpose in life, this is what happens. There is no end to giving. We have showed up here for you today so that we can give back. And it's time you take action in your life and go to where you want to be. Thank you all for watching us, and go and create some impact out there. You can do it too. Bye-bye.